Hey, have you ever found yourself out in the woods, or maybe at a birdwatching spot, and thought, I really wish I could see that detail without straining my eyes, only to wonder if the binoculars you're eyeing will actually deliver? I've been in that exact spot a lot of times, standing on a ridge, trying to catch a glimpse of a distant raptor, or just trying to read a campsite sign from a few hundred yards away, and every time the decision to splurge on premium optics feels like a gamble. You don't want to waste money on a pair that looks great on paper but ends up being a disappointment on the trail, and you definitely don't want to end up with something that's overkill for your everyday needs. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's talk about the Leica 8x42 Trinovid HD. This isn't just another entry-level pair, it's a high-end model that promises crystal clear views, a rugged design, and the kind of optical performance you'd expect from a brand that's been making cameras for over a century. But before you click add to cart, you should know what this binocular actually brings to the table when you're out in real life, and who will truly benefit from it. First off, the 8x magnification combined with a 42mm objective lens strikes a sweet spot for many outdoor activities. If you're the kind of person who likes to hike moderate trails and keep an eye on wildlife without turning your head too far, this magnification gives you a stable field of view that's easier to hold steady than, say, a 10 model. In my own testing, holding the Leica at 8 felt natural even after a few minutes of tracking a bird moving across the canopy. My arms didn't shake as much as they do with higher power binoculars. That steadiness translates directly into less eye fatigue, which is a big deal if you spend a whole afternoon out in the open. The HD label isn't just marketing fluff. Leica uses extra low dispersion (ED) glass that actually reduces chromatic aberration. In plain language, that means less color fringing around high contrast edges. Think the silhouette of a leaf against a bright sky. When I was watching a hawk swoop low over a field, the edges stayed crisp, and the colors stayed true, which makes identification a lot easier. That level of detail can be the difference between spotting a rare bird and just seeing a blur. Now, let's talk about the ergonomics. Leica's Trinovid line is known for its compact, straight tube design, and the 8x42 version is no exception. It fits comfortably in the hand, and the rubber armor feels secure without being overly bulky. The focus wheel is smooth and has a clear, tactile click at each incremental stop, which is handy when you need to zero in quickly, a necessity when, say, you're watching a moving group of deer and want to lock focus on a particular animal. The eye cups twist up and down, accommodating both eyeglass wearers and those who don't need that extra lift, so you won't be fighting for a clear view because of eye relief issues. One practical strength I've noticed is the weatherproofing. The binoculars are nitrogen-filled and internally coated with a water-resistant layer. In a sudden rainstorm on a mountain pass, the optics stayed fog-free, and the rubber coating kept my hands from slipping even though my gloves were wet. For anyone who spends time outside where moisture and temperature swings are common, that kind of reliability eliminates a major headache. On the flip side, there are a few trade-offs to consider. The Leica 8x42 is certainly not the cheapest binocular on the market. Its price reflects the high-end optics and German engineering, which is fine if you're looking for a long-term investment, but it does mean you're paying a premium for performance that most casual hikers might never truly need. If you're mainly using binoculars for backyard birdwatching or occasional stadium events, a more budget-friendly 842 could give you adequate results without breaking the bank. Another point is the field of view. At 8, the Leica delivers about 114 feet at 1,000 yards, which is respectable but not the widest you'll find. Some users who prioritize a broader panorama, like those who enjoy scanning large swaths of open water for distant ships, might feel a little constrained compared to a 7 binocular that typically offers a wider view. In practice, though, I found the field of view more than sufficient for tracking moving subjects. It just requires a bit more panning than you'd need with a 7, but the trade-off is the increased detail you get from the higher magnification. Battery life isn't a concern here because the Trinovid HD is entirely optical, no electronics, no charging. That means one day you can leave it in your backpack for weeks, and it'll still function perfectly when you need it. The only maintenance you'll think about is wiping the lenses clean after a dusty hike, which, thanks to the hydrophobic coating, is a quick swipe away. Who should buy this? If you're an avid birdwatcher,